if you ask an average African about going in America, a lot of them want to go visit America. A lot of them want to ditch Africa and go to America. But today's video, they are warning you not to go to America. I want you to watch this video. It's a compilation of video where some individuals have warned you why you should not visit America, or if you are in America, why you should hurry to leave America before it is too late. Let's watch this video and then we go react on it as we do always.
What are the 5 bad things about living in the United States? Number 1, high cost of healthcare, and actually just high cost of living. Everything is super expensive here. Number 2, income inequality. Some people are very rich, but others are very poor. 3, gun violence. 4, cost of college. Higher education is super expensive. Many people are dying under the pressure of their student loans. They can't afford to pay, they get loans. These student loans are crushing people, and it's preventing many other people from going to college. So the cost of higher education is number 4. And number 5 is no maternity leave that's real. Like 6 weeks paid maternity leave in most states is normal. And many other countries in the world have like a whole year of maternity leave. So bad policies as to maternity and paternity leave. So when you have a baby, you want to take time off. If you're a dad or a mom, very little time is paid for, and job security is not there if you're having a baby. So those are the 5 disadvantages.
Here are my least favorite things about living in America. Hi, my name is Joanna. Before you tell me, oh, go back to where you came from, what, I already did a list of my favorite things about living here. Maybe you should go watch it and then come back. Lack of public transport in most cities. I mean, like, even a city as big as New York, the public transport is still not that great. Okay, I'm comparing it to like China, Tokyo. What I'm saying is they could do better. Are they doing better? No. Number 2 is the bank. Okay, so I went to open a bank account the other day, right? I go to the bank, I bring my documents and everything, I apply for an account, and then I have to go home and wait for almost a week to get my card. In Uganda, I go to the bank, I open a bank account, and I walk out with my card. If a third world country can figure that out, I think America should do something about that. Number 3 is the consumerism. Okay, listen, I do love me some consumerism. The American side of TikTok, it's a little bit overwhelming with the ads. Like, let's keep calm, please. Number 4 is definitely the food. I mean, I do love the portions, don't get me wrong. All healthy foods, they're very expensive. So I feel like it's really unfair that people end up just eating like cereal. I'm not saying that cereal is unhealthy, but you shouldn't be eating that much sugar. Like the unhealthy options are cheaper than the healthy options, which I think is kind of like vice versa. Like in Uganda, processed food is more expensive than the whole food. More about the consumerism. The options are just too much. We do love options around here, but then again, we don't need 1,000 options now, do we? You're more likely to make the wrong choice. Number 5, this might be just like specific for Las Vegas. People here are always ready to sue. Like the lawyers even have billboards. No fees until you win. Like, what is going on in this country? Business has been able to survive until this day because everyone is ready to milk a business. We do have some accountability, but should I do a red lip? No, that would be too much, right? This is the finished look. Oh, I just remembered one more thing. The me culture. Me, this.
I regret coming to the United
what
States.
The topic is about, and I actually do regret coming to the US. Hear me out. I know that I'm in an amazing PhD program. I have an amazing advisor. I have amazing lab members. I'm advancing my career by being in this PhD program, but I still feel like I regret coming to the US. This is literally the first time I am saying this out. I have always thought about it in my head. I've always talked about it in the shower, but I've never spoken about it outside. I've never told anyone that I regret coming to the United. I think I had this conversation with my dad one time when we were just catching up, and that was. So I'm going to explain. Prior to moving to the United States for my master's program in 2018, I used to run an NGO back in Nigeria called Project 17, where we advocate for sustainable development goals. That was the best thing that happened to me. In fact, I was running Project 17 full time after I had quit on my job, my full time job. I had a full time job which I only worked for like 2 months. That story for another day. But I started working on Project 17 full time. In fact, a day before I was coming to the United States, I won an award. Yes, an award based on my work with Project 17. So coming into the US, even I was excited to get my master's. I wanted more knowledge and I also wanted to advance in my career. But since I got here, I felt like I have lost myself. Prior to coming here, I was so vocal about climate change, climate action. I was also very vocal about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, which are United Nations goals. But since I got here, I have been a little bit more into my shell. I don't know if that was part of like the new culture and new environment that I find myself in. And why I brought up all this was because I am currently preparing for a program that I had orchestrated and I had planned for my department to celebrate Women's Month this March, which is coming up in next week. And I find myself, having panic attack and thinking, oh my God, are you going to do well or are you going to flop? Is everybody going to see that you're not who you say you are when you were applying to your PhD program? Is your advisor going to be disappointed in you? Those thoughts just keeps flooding in my head and I'm like, you got it. Like you ran a successful NGO where you were being recognized by the government, the private sector and all of this, but now you're bothering yourself and you're having many panic attacks over an event that you're going to moderate. Like how? I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels this way or if anyone also feels this way at this.
Here are some reasons why you should not move to the USA right now. Number one, if you're not a social media person or you're not really on TikTok or you're not following up what's going on between USA and China, there is a serious war. I would say the war escalations are just through the roof right now. You do not want to be in the USA when this war starts, because as an African migrant, it's not even about whether you've been there for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 10 years. Your color, once it starts, that's when they'll remember that you're black. So now is not the time to move to USA. The second reason is the healthcare. The healthcare can get you bankrupt. To afford health insurance in the US, you need to be working a decent job to be able to afford health insurance and just your health generally. I've seen people being billed $5,000, $2,000 for just minor cases. And ask the people there. Don't take my word for anything, just do your research. But yeah, I'm just here to keep you guys enlightened. The third reason why you shouldn't move is the current inflation. Yes, most of you are like, oh, but inflation is in Africa, it's everywhere. It is not like in the West. It is not like in the US. This is the type of inflation that if you don't have the bills to pay, if you don't have the money to pay your rent, your water, your whatsoever, you're this close to getting no house, to going broke, to going homeless. And it's not funny. Being broke in Africa and being broke in the West is a different ball game altogether. You can go and lodge with somebody, a family member. In the West, all man for himself. You are out in the cold, winter. It's not a funny thing. It's not a funny something. Another reason why you shouldn't move to the West right now is the moral decadence going on. Like when it comes to morality, immorality, just name it. It's just going down like this. There are so many things now happening, from gender whatsoever to those of you who are homophobic, those of you who cannot stand, transgender, LGBTQ plus people. If that's not your cup of tea, do not go there. Education in shambles as well. Yes, for the most part is free, but what you're getting, you need to be keeping up with your child.
Don't bring your infant child to America. The day you brought your child to America, that is the day you lost total control of that child. You get to the point now. I know some of you do this thing as a way of showing off. Yes, I can afford to send my children to America. The other people are the poor masses. Meanwhile, early education in Africa is better than early education in America. You get to the point now. In America, you don't have total control of your children. You don't even tell them what to do. You don't decide what they want. You get to the point now. The system is against you, and the system puts children first before any other thing. So you cannot even yell at your children. You cannot even discipline your children. If you do that, you find yourself in jail. You get to the point now. Allow these children to grow and nurture with African cultural value before you separate them. You get to the point now. Any child you brought to America is not going back to Africa. No matter your empire in Africa, they are not coming back to inherit your empire. You get to the point now. Listen, American children are not as free as African children. And when a child misses its childhood, they become aggressive. You get to the point now. They become aggressive. Here, there is no neighbor to play with. The children go from house to school, school to house, house to school, school to house. Same routine. You get to the point now. Why in Africa, children are free. They connect more with other children to learn the joy and understand the joy of childhood. You get to the point now. So don't do this thing. I know you are doing it for a way of showing off. I can afford it. I'm richer than the other folk. No, you are not doing that child no good. You get to the point now. Allow the child to grow and nurture and see the beauty of Africa before separating that child from Africa. You get to the point now. Go and ask people that brought their children to America. Those children, they are not going back to Africa. You understand? If you ask them to go back to Africa, they say, what is happening there? Africa is, the only thing in Africa is lion. I don't want lion to hurt me. I don't want snake to hurt me. Everybody live on the tree and all those kind of stuff. That is what they will be telling you. You get to the point now. Use your head.
Welcome back. You have listened to these individuals. Most of them are in America. These are Africans. Some of them are whites. America is a dream of everybody because we all think it's green on the other side. It's green on the other side. Every African, their dream is like America is the place they want to go. When they hear about America, you hear about future. When you hear about America, you think of dollars. You think of prosperity. You think of... It's a kind of wave that is in the brains of people. It's a kind of system that is installed in the brain of people that if you are African, when you go to America, when you go to Europe, you must make it. It's not like that. It is not like that. I did a video here, my previous video I did, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, where white people were crying. Africans were breaking down into tears because of what is happening in America. Crisis after crisis. So, you have listened the number of reasons why you should not visit America. And one of the reasons is about gun violence. Let's talk about gun violence. And there's some things you will not see on TV, maybe from America. We only see the positive side, but negative side, we are not being shown. But in America, a gun is very easy. Like everyone can own. So anyone can own a gun. Even kids, you see movies, you see streets where young children, 16 years, 15 years, own a gun. It is very easy to have violence all over. It's very easy to have violence because whatever you see on these movies, by the way, it's the reality what is in the streets of America. There is some streets you are being warned not to go there. If you are planning to go in America, you have to know that gun violence is easy because if you are a visitor, if you are African, you are going to visit there, there is some things we are not familiar with. For example, we are not familiar with guns. We see guns only maybe through when there is robbery, you see guns where police officers have carried ones, but you don't meet guns in the streets just like that. Another reason why you should not visit America is about education cost. If you are African, education is an issue. One thing about education in America, and you as a black person, is about the discrimination where the value or the cost or the education that is given to black community is not the same that is given to white community. If you wanna say that you are taking your children in America so that they can study there, it will be so expensive for them to acquire that status of education that the white race are acquiring. It is so hard for black community to be in America and to have the quality education. There is a video this lady has said about education, about health care, health facilities. Another thing apart from education cost is healthcare cost. For black community and everyone in America, healthcare can be so expensive. And again, as I said, as a black community, for you to get quality healthcare, you need to at least have a lot of money. One professor said that America was designed for the rich. America is not for the poor. And that's why a lot of people who are going there, you hear them saying they are working like 4 different jobs so that they can cater for themselves. They are working like in 4 different jobs so that they can keep up with the life of America. Because it's not easy. America is very expensive. From that healthcare, education, very expensive. Another thing is the rest of culture. Issue of culture. There's a culture that you as an African, you are not familiar with or is not okay for you. For example, let me talk about LGBTQ. Now in America it's common. You as an African, you are being raised here with Mother Africa, with a mother from Africa. It's very rare for you to come across these issues. So if you are homophobic, or if you are not the right person, or if you don't feel comfortable being where there is a LGBTQ community, it will be hard for you to catch up with that. I think I don't have to talk more about this because these individuals have spoken a lot on why you should not visit America. And again, most of them are there, or a lot of them, all of them who have speak, or all of them who we have seen on this video are in America. So they know better of this, and that's why they came up with this, why you should not visit America. Now, you may ask, maybe you want to ask them, why will you not go back to your land if you hate America? Now, as I said earlier, people know or people think that America is greener. Yes, of course, maybe there is job opportunities, but you need to overwork. You need to do like 3 or 4, 5 types of job. No sleeping in America. You work hard because house is expensive, school is expensive, a medical is expensive. So you need to go extra mile so that you can cater all of this. And again, the issue of discrimination, or I can talk about racism. If you are not, or you can't handle that, it's very hard for you to stay there, because it is normal for some of the people. You go on a train, they are racist there. You go to school, you take your children to school, they are racist there. You go anywhere you go, it's normal to come across racism. It is so hard for you to mingle or to jiggle around if your mind or your brain is not ready to face all of these issues. Now, all said, solutions. Why you should not visit America? What should we do if it's the only place where we have opportunities? You should stay back home in Africa. Another question, when I stay back in Africa, I don't have opportunities. We are poor. Now, that's where we come back to the language we always speak. Corruption. Leaders. We fight corruption. We choose good leaders. For us not to go in Europe. And I love what Ibrahim Traore is doing. He's working hard not to take brains of Africa out of Africa. We want to build industries here. We want to create job opportunities here. We want to improve education sector, improve health sector, improve agriculture sector, so that it is easy for us to get what we can get in America, or to get that we are going to get in America. It's easy for us to get it here. Another thing, is for all the African diaspora who have gone there to invest back in the motherland, because that's the only way we can back our community with money. Investing back in motherland is not sending money to your family. No, it's not by sending tokens to your friends. No, investing money in the motherland or in your country is by coming here, investing here, buying lands, create opportunities, put businesses, invest in your country so that we can increase value of the country. I get that all Africans who are going to Europe or in America, when they go there, they forget coming back home to invest here home. They use their money on that land. It's so hard to increase the value of your country because all of you have gone. The higher mercenaries have gone. Tailors have gone. Everyone who has the capability or anyone who can do something has gone. That's not bad going. But again, why are you not investing in your country back? We will come back in corruption. Corruption is the reason why all African diaspora have not or they don't invest back home. I saw a comment of someone saying that they can invest back home, but the issue is corruption. And from the video I did previous about Botswana president calling out corrupt leaders, I said on that video that we are the ones to blame. We as the people, we as the Africans, not the few leaders. You can't blame them because we as the people, we were the one who chose them. Someone will say, I did not vote for him. But do you remember being given 1,000 shillings, being given $10, being given 5,000 naira for you to vote for your leader? Do you remember that? That is where you sold your soul. You cannot say anything against him. You cannot condemn him. Even if he does something crazy, you will just keep quiet. Simply because he bribed you, he bought you. Now for the next 5 years, you will suffer. And again, he will buy you again and continue suffering. And that's where corruption grows so bad. It's so hard for Africans in diaspora to invest back home because of these corruption issues. And when that happens, our economy as Africans fail. When it fails, a lot of brains and manforce or manpower being transported or are being exported to other lands. We will remain to be poor ever and ever. But that's not the topic of today. The topic of today is you are being warned not to go to America because of these reasons. Whatever I've said is mine. I've never been in America. I'm just reacting on that. But again, we have to put life in what you are saying. I'm trying to see what is the problem. Why we are being told not to go in America? The war between America and China. It can be a war. You never know. There's a number of reasons why you shouldn't go. Even when you are watching this news, you are being told immigrants supposed to go to their home. Donald Trump told all the immigrants, if you don't have legitimate of being here, I give you 6 months to go back to your home. You are not being wanted there. Come back home. Let's build home. If you think of going, don't go. Let's build the motherland. Tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. Until next episode, peace be with you.